Okay, good morning. Got the Starlink mounted on the roof of the camper. Got it connected to the USB-C. The cable I bought is barely long enough, so I'll probably have to order another one, or maybe just a USB-C extension cord, because it'll be long enough to get out of the weather no matter what. Yeah, so with the mount, it doesn't tilt or anything, so it's flat, facing straight up now. So in the same position where I had it facing forward on the camper, where now it's just straight up. So it's not connecting. So I'm hoping now, driving out into the open area here, that it will connect. So we'll see what happens. Of course, it's a rainy, cloudy day, so probably not the best day for that. So anyway, we're going to head to Chilliwack, get the Bronco. Figure it's rainy and wet. It's too early to get the boat put in the water with the tractor. And like I had said before, this was more of a, not really 100%, but like mostly a kind of dry run on everything with that and the Starlink and whatnot. So just wanting to get everything figured out so I'm not stumbling when I really need everything to work. So yeah, hoping that we got open sky above us, that this would start to connect. It just continuously says disconnected. Not sure if there's anything I need to do to try and make it connect. I just keep turning the app on and off, and I don't think that really does it. It says connecting, but then just says disconnected. Yeah, anyway, I'll get out in the open here and see what happens. Heading back to Chilliwack to get the Bronco. Been wondering why I couldn't get the Starlink to seem to fire up since putting it in the case and suction cupping it. At the same time, I set it up to USB-C because I disconnected power from the campground, and I googled it, and it seems when you're using USB-C, it wants like a minimum 100 watt USB-C output, which is a pretty rare connection, I believe. I think the one I have is maybe 20 watts or something that it's connected to. So I'm going to pull over at the next pull out and turn the inverter on in the camper and give that a try. And then I will do some research when not driving on if I can upgrade the USB-C that's in the camper that's hardwired to something with a lot more output. When I first hooked it up, I think I used my battery pack in the camper and it seemed to turn on. And of course I had no satellite signal, but it turned on. So that thing puts out quite a bit of power. Maybe that right now I'm using a lighter socket adapter USB-C that I bought for the boat, which was at the time was one of the biggest ones you could get for output that I could buy at the time. I think just a Canadian Tire, and it seems to charge phones fairly quick. I can understand with this like 10-foot or whatever it is cord I got and trying to power this satellite dish, if you will. It's probably not near enough power. So anyway, I'm gonna pull over here, and I wanted to pull over soon anyway and check its stability on the roof of the camper. Doing the speed limit here is 110, so I'm probably doing 112 or 13 right now. My speedometer's out because of my tires, so 96 kilometers an hour on my odometer is, or speedometer, sorry, is GPS speed of 100, and I'm set to cruise right now at 100, so I should be around that 112, 13, I think, kilometers an hour. I have a safety cable on it, so if it did blow off, I don't think I would lose it. I'm just not sure. I wrapped it around the foot that's on the bottom of the Starlink, and I think that's like a removable plastic part. Thinking about it now, so I'm not sure that's the smartest spot to have it hooked to anyway, so I'm going to double check that and get a better power source to it and see if that fixes my problem. Okay, just leaving the truck stop here. Yes, it was a power issue. So I hooked it to the factory power, plugged in through the camper with the inverter turned on, and it fired up right away. I have the Insta360 starting its download, so I want to see if it can do it. So yeah, we have nice clear weather now too, just leaving 100 Mile, and it says right now it's 7:45, and it tells me I'll be at Stone Speed Shop at about 11:15. Also, the suction cup mount, it didn't seem to have moved at all, so that's good. So yeah, at the end of the day, using the 110 isn't usually a problem anyway, especially traveling, because the truck's running, charging the batteries, solar panels are charging the batteries, so we should be able to run the inverter no problem. You just always have to remember, with the way I have mine set up, I have to turn off the converter in the camper, which I've done. That'll stop the inverter from creating 110 volts and trying to charge the batteries that are creating that 110 volts. I learned that the hard way the first time I set that up, and I didn't clue in until the first night, and it kept killing the batteries, so I had the generator running to get batteries topped back up, and I heard the fan kick on for the converter, and instantly my brain kicked in and thought, I'm doing a loop. I'm using 12 volts to make 110, using 110 to make 12 again. By total accident, I wasn't even thinking it would do it, but I used the cubby hole on the back of the camper on the right side. You can buy these campers with a generator built in, and I didn't want that because it takes up that whole cubby and it's noisy, and it's a generator that's one use only for the camper, where it was less money to buy the Honda generator that I bought, which fits in the cubby and only takes up half the cubby. So anyway, that area was already plumbed with 110 volts for if you have the generator running, and also has plumbed with 4-gauge power wire for starting that generator. So it made it easy for me to add a battery and add the inverter, except using that power source. Usually it's a generator running, creating the 110, and you're using the converter to charge your batteries, where I'm using it in reverse, where I'm using my batteries to create 110 to use the 110. So that's where this thing comes in, where I gotta flick the number 2 breaker, and that turns off the converter, but allows everything else to work. So yeah, anyway, that's the update. Starlink is working. The Insta360 is down here on my console, plugged in, and with the fast flicker, that means it is uploading. So even at home or at work with really good internet, it does take a long time for it to upload to its cloud. So I'm not sure I'm going to continue doing it that way. The only reason I do is so Leah can access it in the cloud and edit the 360 type video in that editor, and then export it into her software that she uses to make the videos. So that's why we do use that. It just seems to take a long time to do it. I think even if I did take the information off the card, it's still a huge file, being 8K 30 frames, and then you'd still have to import it into a software that edits 360 view. So it's at that point, I think we're not gaining a lot of time. I'm sure Leah could do it if I just kept giving her like the SD card, and it might be quicker because you're just doing from SD card to hard drive. But I'm trying to limit any of that type of file transfer for her, and just getting it right into the GoPro app GoPro cloud and the Insta360 cloud. So those are the only two things she has to access on her end. So far it's been working good. Last night, even with fairly slow internet, I did have quicker internet when I did the speed test this morning with the Starlink, but with slow internet it did download a lot of files. I had almost 20 GoPro files from yesterday. I had 5 or 6 files from the DJI Osmo 3 that I put into my phone, and then from my phone into the GoPro cloud. And this morning I noticed my phone had kicked off to the overnight. Somehow it kicked into the campground's Wi-Fi, and it still hadn't fully uploaded everything. And as soon as I switched it back to the Starlink, boom, it finished instantly. And then I did that speed test, and it was like, last night was like 30 something kiloloops or whatever the term is. Sorry, I'm dumb to this stuff, but on download, and like maybe 8 or 10 or something for upload, where this morning it was 130 for the download and I think 36 or 40 for upload. So it definitely was a quicker upload. So yeah, anyway, kind of the update for now. I'm gonna go see if I can go into the Starlink app and see what kind of speed it has right now. I don't know a lot about this stuff. It was Mbps, whatever that means. So let's hit start. Oh yeah, we got 164 up, 165, 170. It's jumping around, of course, doing its test. It's at 92, 98. Okay, so it stopped at 98 for the upload, download. Upload is hit a high of 11 at this point. I don't know what good numbers are. The consensus on the whole thing was 98 download, 9 up, and then 30 ms, whatever that is. Looks like time of some kind. So anyway, I'll have to do some research so I don't sound like an idiot, but I'm new to all this download speeds, upload speeds, and internet, satellite internet, or whatever you call Starlink. So yeah, anyway, babbling on and carrying on. Alright, I lost internet already, and I think I know why. The hot water tank is turned on to 110, and the fridge probably tripped over to 110 instead of propane. So I need to pull over and put the fridge on propane only and turn off the hot water from electric. All the little things you got to remember when you wire in something the way I did with that inverter. So yeah, so anyway, got to pull over. Probably tripped a breaker or tripped something with too much load on the inverter with the hot water tank. Not many inverters can run hot water tanks, I don't think, especially my small one that I got that's literally mainly there to run a freezer. Should be able to pull over pretty quick. I think we're coming into Clinton and get that straightened out. So anyway, every day is a school day when you're adding to your electronics, I guess. So we'll pull over here shortly and get her back on track. All right, I'll take you along for this setup. See, keep talking about the stuff, may as well show it to you. So right now it says 0 watts coming, I don't know, 1.3. Yeah, see, we're losing volt. It's trying too hard, most likely, like I said, because I have too many things running. Bag for Laura. So hot water was on electric instead of gas, so I'll swap that back. And then losing my fish. And the fridge was on auto, so we'll put that out. That just makes it run on gas, which is fine. So we should have our power back, and then yeah, climb up here quickly. So the weather's beautiful now. Oh, there's the Starlink up on the top. So seems to be holding up good. No concern there. Solid. And then I got the safety tie wire here, so we should be good. So let's check on the inverter again. There you go. So 12.9 volts, 10 watts. So right now it's taking 10 watts to run the Starlink. There's nothing else, I don't think, connected to 110 in the camper. So 10 watts. So it definitely draws some power. Okay, let's get back in the truck. Coming into Cache Creek, BC. Navigation has said save 50 minutes and take a turn. So I think just leaving Cache Creek here, we will hit Ashcroft, and I think that's where it's going to get us to take an exit and bring us in through Merritt, and then we'll come into Hope through the Coquihalla. So it's probably due to the construction and the long weekend. It sensed something in the traffic further down the canyon here, where they're wanting us to take a detour. Just figured I'd fire up regular video coming through Cache Creek here for any viewers that are not from BC. Check out this cool old town. They were hit hard with those floods from a few years ago too. Just up here to your left, you'll see the Dairy Queen. There's a river, a small river that runs through Cache Creek, and it blew out the river right into town here, and literally had water running through the Dairy Queen. So they had to do a full reno there, and they had to rebuild this whole bridge here, and that's what happened. Was there's too much water to get under this tunnel, the tube under the bridge.
Continue onto Trans-Canada Highway.
And yeah, it blew it out, and then of course back flowed upriver, and yeah, there was this whole highway was covered in mud and gravel. So they've got that all fixed now. But like I was saying, in yesterday's, that last bridge is getting done over the train tracks there in the canyon. So I don't have the camera facing me on because the internet's working great, and GoPro connected to the Starlink randomly on its own and started an upload. So it's got 5 videos uploading, as well as the Insta360 is uploading. So I figured you don't really need to see me to see town here, so we just left it do its thing here, and it'll also give me a good test onto how well this Starlink works driving down a highway. So, oops, I am speeding. One thing in Cache Creek you gotta watch for is the speed limit. It's super easy to do what I just did and get up to 70 kilometers an hour because you feel like you're on the highway. So 3 kilometers up the road is where we take the exit, and that's where we'll be heading into Ashcroft. So Ashcroft you usually just pass by on your way through to 100 Mile or to Williams Lake or Prince George or anything. If you're coming from the lower mainland up, you'll never go really through Ashcroft, but unless instances like this where it's saying I'm going to save almost an hour if I go that route. I'm not in any real rush today. I only need to get to Chilliwack and get the Bronco and head back up. My only deadline is, I think, around 6 o'clock p.m. is about their deadline for running the tractor to put boats in the water, and I want to be set up to be on the dock so I can get up at an early time tomorrow and get fishing for the day, for the derby or whatever is happening there. So pretty much have a lot of time really, but you never know what'll happen here with long weekend traffic. And that is why it's always a great idea to use your navigation if you have it, especially a live navigation like your iPhone is live, or if you have navigation in your vehicle with satellite radio, you're usually connected to live data, and it should show you where the bottlenecks are and the quickest routes. So I do it as long as I'm going more than a half an hour somewhere. I'm running navigation these days. It's saved me so many times. And this works out in our favor as well, because I have a time lapse of coming to 100 Mile yesterday that you would have already seen, whether it's in this video or yesterday's video. And now we are heading back in a different direction, so that's kind of cool as well. This route will also be better, most likely, for the Starlink, as it'll bypass all the tunnels. The canyon has a series of tunnels you go through, and I'm not sure how much of a delay the satellite will, or the Starlink will allow for, but I know like the Insta360, for instance, if it doesn't see network for, it seems like instantly, it kicks out the download. And the canyon route is never really any quicker by a lot than going this route we're taking today. And this is a bit of a nicer drive sometimes. So here we are, historic Ashcroft. The uploading speed with this Starlink doesn't seem to be great. Even today, it looks like I should have pretty good connection. Blue sky is wide open. The GoPro's still sitting at 1 of 5 download from quite a while ago. And I noticed that last night I had really good, like, seemed like download watching live streams. I have 4K YouTube all night, no problem. No glitching, no nothing, but the uploading super slow. So I'm not sure if that's typical of this type of internet, although it did do 37 gigs last night, and not sure where we're at yet today with what it's doing, if it's done any of the Insta360. I don't have the app open to know. The GoPro's nice, it shows you how many are there to download, and then what it's on, which right now says 1/5, and just under a quarter of the blue circle complete. So also this way, we go through Logan Lake, which is I think it's a mining town. I'm just trying to remember what they mine, but Logan Lake Mine. A few people I know work there.
Go past this light, then turn right onto Barn Street.
So there's quite the tailing pond, I believe, that we'll see on camera. Tailings and tailing pond. Built up. Pretty steep hills, I think, leaving right here.
For about 56 kilometers.
Deer right there on the left. It's a buck, little buck. The joys of living in towns like this, you get that wildlife right in town, which is cool. Alright, well, that's pretty much it for the town. I'm gonna swap her back over to time lapse. Front view camera for some view of this mine, like pretty crazy open pit mine here. I don't know a lot about it, but all I know is it's a lot of earth that's been moved over the years. Yeah, lots of tailings piled up over the years. So yeah, nothing too exciting here, just a little bit of a view of a mine. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's a copper mine, and then the sign right there. So yeah, there you go, that's pretty much it for the Highland Valley copper mine. just coming into Merritt, BC. We will just be driving through and then getting on to the Coquihalla, and then after that will be Hope, then Chilliwack. So Chandel and Nicole went up to Vernon last night to pick up their aunt and bring her back to spend the weekend with them in Chilliwack. And a while back when I was going through Cache Creek, Ashcroft area just after that, I was messaging with Chandel and they were almost in Kamloops. So I thought, well, it'd be funny is
in 1 kilometer,
we might be
left onto Princeton Kamloops Highway.
Really close on the Coquihalla now that I'm taking the Coquihalla. So that's why I sent her the message. She responded. Let's see where she's at.
Chandel said, I'm just coming into Merritt, LOL.
So yeah, if they're just coming into Merritt and not stopping for some reason, I'm just coming to the exit of Merritt and we'll be heading up the highway. So there's a good chance that they're going to be coming straight through because the speed limit's 110 all the way through. So
keep left.
Depending on where she is, as in just coming into Merritt, we should be almost on the highway together at the same time, in the same place. I did some Googling with Siri, and I guess it's common that Starlink is not a very fast upload. They've designed it mainly for download, for streaming. So not a big deal. It does work. It just now know not to let things that I might want to use, like the one GoPro's uploading right now. It's still 2 of 5, but the circle is at 3/4. So now I know in the future anyway, it's for, you know, overnight, do your uploads, and or when you're not going to be filming, get your uploading going. So know that now, and again, just a learning weekend here.
Turn right to merge onto Yellowhead Highway 5 South.
So yeah, just getting onto the highway here, leaving Merritt, which will put us right up into the Coquihalla. Well, I said the speed limit was 110, it's actually 120, so we'll put that suction cup mounted to the test now, I guess. Topped up with diesel. The girls in detail put some decals on the Bronco, temporary, since we're still waiting for the sign company to even get us renderings on those. So we just put some generic ones on it, so there's something on it. So yeah, just gonna head to the shop, throw a box of DEF, or a jug of DEF fluid in the truck, and get the Bronco hooked up, and then just get right back on the highway. And yeah, traffic was starting to get really busy heading east out of here, so we'll see what way I want to go. I might take the Agassiz route into Hope and then just take the canyon and enjoy the drive versus getting on the Coquihalla and getting in the mix of all the BS and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see which way navigation says and if there's any major reasons why not to go the canyon, but at this point I'll probably wrap it old school and just go through Agassiz into Hope and then out of Hope through the canyon up to 100 Mile. That usually is your best bet on a long weekend. Most people don't know that kind of back route. The people that do are usually good drivers. So anyway, we'll get to the shop and get going here. We'll see you there. Okay, I meant to video this when I got here, but being in a rush, I never got to it. We are all hooked up, ready to go. I've ordered an adapter to lift this hitch a couple inches. It's just barely within spec where it's sitting right now, but it'll do. So I'm gonna add some air, which will lift the truck a little anyway. But we're all hooked up, ready to rip. Kylie got some side decals on the Bronco for now. I am doing driven by stones on here, but those decals we had made turned out awesome. So I'm gonna get on the road here. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, this is it's weird. Having a vehicle towed behind me like this, especially a brand new one. But seems to be doing its job. I'm gonna bump the air up. Not that there's any tongue weight, and I can literally not see it in my mirror, so luckily I have a camera down here. But just to get that angle a little better, put some more air in the bags. Yeah, so anyway, something totally different. Having a car behind you like this. When I'm turning, I can see it. And yeah, so down here we have camera, so I can keep an eye on it and make sure everything is all good. Oh yeah. Like I said, it's weird, and then the really weird thing for me is in the camera, I see the fender flares, and to me they look like the tires. So that's kind of goofy. But anyway, how's it going?
Oh, good. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, you as well.
Yeah.
You could put it out of the way if you'd like.
Sure.
It'll probably stay here till my August fishing trip.
Okay, sure. Yeah, then I'll put it over there.
May as well. Yeah.
Hookity or hot?
Are they?
Yeah, gone. The first 2 pound already today.
Oh wow!
And,
Wow. How deep are they fishing?
First 20 feet, like 15 feet down.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of boats out right now.
Yeah.
And no, it's so hot.
Yeah.
And it's been since I've been fishing before people were here. Like
Yeah.
middle of April, Bruno caught the first rainbow off the dock.
Yeah.
And it was early spring and everything, and it's just been good.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's why I wanted to get it out tonight. I was hurrying back because I went and got my Bronco
Yeah.
and towed it back with the camper.
It's a nice Bronco. I
Thanks.
usually don't like Broncos at all, but that one I like.
Yeah, I know they're awesome.
Yeah.
We got two. My wife has a black one, and now I got that one.
Yeah.
We're good. I can grab the other one there.
I go forward a little?
Yeah, just a little. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Guess it rained pretty hard today. Okay, it is Friday evening. Just finished watching the end of the first period of the round 4 playoff hockey with the Chiefs in Brooks, Alberta. Got everything set up. So the Bronco here now, that all worked out well. And the truck and camper set up. So everything here was designed for the camper to come off and sit on that brace, as I explained in yesterday's video. I had to put a ton of these orange blocks under the front tires to get it up and level. So I remembered we had these little blocks in the detail shop. The old lease guy from there, the guy that leased the shop before, left them there, and they worked out perfect. So I was able to leave the air in the back, drive it up on them, and then lower the air on the back, and the hitch just landed on the deck and worked out perfectly. So yeah, you can see the hitch under there, landed right on the deck. So yeah, everything's looking pretty good. I'll show you around a little. It's still dirty. I still gotta get the fire pit opened up, get things cleaned off. Not sure what the weather's gonna do. It's clear over there and kind of black above us. But so far so good. So I'll back up and show you the spot looks like. So it's a bit of a goofy spot because it's fairly small, but it's long. So I was able to build a deck that worked well, and then I built the little bridge here, and then they allowed us to clear out this side a little of the creek to do our fire pit over here, because otherwise our fire pit was right next to the bathrooms there. And then they also let me bring that shed up, which was super nice. So having the shed there, just keep everything in there, nobody messes with it. And yeah, so that's our setup there. We have a fire over here, which is nice. Got the gazebo lit up, and then both the awnings on the truck and camper. And just over here, if you've never been or heard of this place, it's great for kids. Got a wicked playground here. The zip line, big cabins you can rent, horseshoe pits, and the fire pit that we're looking at is a community fire pit. So that's really cool. There's these ramps over here are all for bikes, so you can rip around on your bikes, which that's the one thing I didn't load up yet. It was at the house, the bike rack was at the house, so I didn't get it to put on the back of the Bronco, but eventually that'll be the setup. We'll have the bike on the back of the Bronco behind the camper. So, and then I'm not sure if you can see from here, but down on the water straight ahead is the boat. I just got it dumped in the water, so tomorrow I can get out and do some kokanee fishing. I was wrong, there isn't a derby this weekend, but I'll get out fishing anyway. So anyway, gonna get back to the hockey game. See you tomorrow.